different ramps throughout the midfield, and only those 2 Xel'Naga towers. So if you can maintain control of the mid, you really control the whole map.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, the match has begun. MarineKing and MMA have spawned. The map is Cloud Kingdom. And in the top right-hand corner, we do have MarineKing Prime. And the bottom left, lost the first match, give it up for MMA.
Now, players at this level talk about a close game. I mean, if you were to ask me to predict who's going to take game 2, who knows? It couldn't have been any closer than that in game 1. It was so back and forth. And MarineKing, I feel, just making the better split decisions. When it comes down to the wire, he was really making the quick, concise, right decisions in those situations.
Well, really, basically, no hesitation from him.
No hesitation,
no trepidation. He knows what he's going to do, and he goes with his gut. Gets him in trouble sometimes, but oftentimes it also gets him the W, as we saw in the first game.
Yeah, indeed. And this time around, we do have a barracks going down for MMA, so no command center first. It looks like MarineKing this time around is actually going to command center first. You do see those extra SCVs in production at the command center, which signifies he's just going to go straight for that command center on the low ground.
Yeah, absolutely. No point just trying to be efficient and building one at a time when you could just queue it up and save up 400. The low ground command center is now on the way. A real big switch up, honestly. Last game we saw MMA go for the CC first. This game we see MarineKing going.
Yeah, indeed. And MMA does have that gas going right now, so he probably will get a factory to follow this up here. And then we'll have to see where he goes from there.
Well, we'll have to see. Obviously, many options available here to MMA. He's going for a tech lab. And so what do you think that's going to mean?
Well, grabbing the tech lab, I would imagine he's going to get out an early Reaper here for scouting purposes, potential. And he does get in with that SCV, scouts the low ground command center, scouts the double racks going up. So MMA knows exactly what MKP is doing now. And furthermore, a command center first is a very punishable build. You can punish it with early aggression, early pressure. We'll have to see if MMA contours his build to do some early aggression here and punish him, or if he tries to expand quickly himself and catch up in the economic game.
Well, don't forget he did go for that tech lab on the barracks, and he's making a Reaper right now. Has a second gas on the way as well, Pain User.
Interesting.
So that means a lot of different things, man. Go ahead and inform the crowd what you think is so interesting about that.
Well, I mean, he's got that double gas so quickly, I can't help but think that he's going to grab that factory, grab a starport, potentially get out an early Banshee here, cloak as well. I mean, he's going to be stockpiling so much gas here. First Reaper out on the field, making its way over to MKP's base right now, and there's a second Reaper following that up.
Yeah, a lot of Reapers coming out here for MMA. It gives him the ability to get in there, do a little bit of harass, but mainly it's going to be used for a scout as well. Now it's making its way up the ramp. There is an SCV there at the same time. Don't think he's going to try to build a bunker or anything like that, because this isn't obviously TBC. There are Marines that can range the SCV, and now one SCV has gone down, and it looks like MMA will be happy with that. Back.
Absolutely. MMA not getting too cavalier with his Reaper. Doesn't want to lose that early Reaper. It's great for map control. You can maintain position on the Xel'Nagas, and here we go. Yes, the barracks has been lifted. It looks like we will see that starport, and I also think he's going to go with that cloak follow-up. And he's dropping a command center at the same time.
Wow, he threw that command center pretty much at the same time, maybe a little bit earlier than that starport. Interesting opening here. That early Banshee is going to really give him the ability to control the skies, maybe do some damage against the SCVs. 2 Reapers also combating these 2 Marines. And talk to me a little bit about how you feel the difference between Banshees without cloak and Banshees with cloak in Terran versus Terran.
Well, that's actually a very good question. Banshees with cloak. Oh, hold that thought. We do have a Hellion and 2 Reapers coming into the natural here. It looks like 1 Reaper will get picked off immediately, and he's going to have to pull out of there. But Banshees with Cloak force a lot of indirect damage on your opponent, and there we have the Cloak. So it's going to force MKP to build an engineering bay, to build turrets. If he forces him to burn scans, each scan is an additional 300 resources there. So much indirect damage is done by Cloak Banshees, and that's not even counting how many SCVs they could potentially kill.
But let's not forget, the Cloak also comes at a hefty price.
It does.
A lot of gas, a lot of minerals, and honestly, MMA has to do some damage with this. And I always say maybe 5 to 10. 10 is a good number to call it at.
Absolutely.
If you can kill off 10 SCVs, that more than pays off for the Cloak and the Banshee investment.
Certainly. And we do have that engineering bay going down for MKP. So MKP will at least have the capacity for protection. He'll have the capacity to put up missile turrets. And that's really what he needs, because there's nothing more frustrating when you have 0 scans left, you don't have an engineering bay, and there's no way for you to ward off a Cloaked Banshee.
Now, Combat Shields is about to finish up for MarineKing. He actually went for Combat Shields first before Stim, and I think that's going to give him a little bit of a liability here, because it is much harder to pick off a Banshee when you don't have that Stim pack upgrade first. The Banshee can kite, it can run away, it's a little bit quicker than those Marines on the ground without Stim. So keep your eye out for this Banshee, and Cloak is finished. He's coming in here, gonna try to do some damage, and now forcing MarineKing to drop a missile turret.
But the Combat Shield Marines take 3 shots apiece from the Banshee, so they're soaking up so much damage. MKP very intelligently using those Marines to absorb the Banshee fire. They're more than expendable at this point. MMA not paying attention right there, wasn't target firing the SCVs. So MKP does a brilliant job holding off the Cloaked Banshees, and that cannot feel good for MMA. As you said, Cloak, a very big investment. You need to have a return on that investment, and right now, these Cloaked Banshees have essentially done nothing.
Yeah, and I don't think MMA really wanted to fly it over the Marines either for fear of a potential comm set. That's why he's been focusing on picking off Marines rather than SCVs. Those Marines are getting pretty close out of that Banshee, and MMA's got to be careful, man. The moment he steps over that ridge and he's given himself vision up to the Marines, then that Banshee can be picked off almost instantaneously with that much Marine firepower. Here comes another Cloaked Banshee coming into the main. There is no missile turret that I see of, and interesting, MMA flies in and now hesitates a little bit, and now going up to the main, and there is a missile turret, so he's only going to be able to pick off a couple of SCVs here. Nothing too serious, and it looks like he's going to fall back.
The one thing he does have going for him is that he didn't lose either of those Banshees, but MKP has a very large bio army at this point. He has Combat Shield and Stim just about to finish. +1 is going to finish at the same time here, so guys, we are going to have a strong timing push here from MarineKing. He's going to have +1, Combat Shield, Stim, a couple siege tanks. He's got the medevacs as well. And really, I mean, what does MMA have to hold this off?
It looks like MMA decided to go for the double engineering bay route instead, trying to rush his tech, but as a result, his army definitely suffering right here. Do you think he has the possibility to hold this off with those upgrades coming? They aren't going to be done in time, just Stim perhaps, but definitely not +1 weapons.
Beautiful split here from MarineKing. He's storming into the natural. MMA forced to run up the ramp. He's going to have to concede position at the natural. He's losing everything right now. The orbital could go down.
The orbital will go down. MarineKing taking a huge victory right here. MMA deciding not to lift off his orbital, and a big push, forcing the GG. Unreal. MMA has been knocked down to the lower bracket. MarineKing going 2-0 in this set. He will advance forward to play against the winner of Polt and Alive. How did you guys feel about that last matchup? And give it up for your winner, MarineKing.